actually a request from someone in the public, but
Well, yeah, you want to kick it off?
I think part of the concern here at school board meetings is to have everyone available to see what's going on. Of course, we'd like them to attend school board meetings, but I think the approach that would be helpful if we can at least improve on the sound that we are providing. Because people, that's why we moved the chairs up a little closer this time, because people can't hear us, couldn't hear us. And with the request, the council, I believe, actually is, I think we're going live tomorrow at the council meeting. And the advantage there is, one, it's a permanent setting. A lot of the meetings are held there. Here, I think that videotaping may be a little difficult here, because depending on the type of presentations we're here, we're going to have, sometimes we're going to have a student presentation, so the arrangement is not always the same. So if we were going to videotape it, we'd have to come up with some type of mobile type of program. So I think that may be the difficult portion of that. I don't think, so I think if we can provide that, similar to what the town's doing, I think it should provide more information. So what cost would be involved, the particulars that we would have to work on, would certainly need to be discussed, but nothing's good like watching a rerun of a council and school board meeting. So if we can do that, it would provide another outlet for the citizens to look at it. But how that will be done, I'm not sure. But
No. Where will the council videos be available? How are they available?
they're going to be you'll be able to stream. So I don't know the technical words, but we believe you'll be able to access the town website. You'll be able to stream those videos delayed. Eventually, I think they're working on having them recorded live. I don't know the details of that, but they're going to be available via streaming off the town website.
For the audio, we were able to have available some audio for the deliberative session. I was just wondering about, was that rented equipment, or was that equipment that we already have here that we could start to at least utilize as we address it better? You know,
It's equipment we own.
Did it work well?
yes. I mean, it might be actually too loud for this kind of forum. I mean, it's pretty loud, but I mean, I want people to be able to hear us until we can at least figure out a better solution in the meantime.
This is a question, who sets that up? Who set that up? Is this something that, while we're setting the tables up, we can set up the...
That was a group effort.
So,
I don't know.
okay,
I don't know.
obviously we'd want somebody that's here to be able to do it, like as they do the tables and okay.
I think once we decide what we're going to do, we can figure out sort of
Right.
Would this room be, I mean, are we also thinking about maybe we need to move the meetings from this room? Is this room not conducive to be able to, you know, videotape and give some sound? I mean, is there a better room?
I'm thinking with everything else that we have in here, this is the room, but,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
I think once the board decides what you want to do, you can leave that up to us to figure out how to do it. The audio system that we had on deliberative session night was interesting, but I don't think it was particularly effective or efficient. So what I would suggest is if that's the direction you're going in, make that commitment. And we'll need some time to research it. And I think if we're going to do it, that setup we had for deliberative session was a professional meeting type. We pieced together microphones that we found in different places. And
Phil, I'm sorry, could you explain why that was that case? I thought because of the last minute change of someone, Malloy, could you explain that?
Well,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that was the reason.
yeah, somebody didn't deliver the sound system. So very quickly.
So you usually rent it for that?
Yes,
that-
yeah, so we put together a sound system, and what I'm getting back to, if we're gonna do something, let's do it right. And it may make some changes, Jim, in the way we do business. It may mean that we need a stationary setup, it may not mean that. And then let's look at what we would need to do for streaming video, what storage capacity we have, who's gonna actually bring the camera in. I'm not gonna do it, I'll tell you that. But who's gonna bring the camera in, set up the camera, break it down, use whatever media that comes from that, and loads it onto the server. You know, we need to talk about that and reason that out. That's something that, if the board wants to go in that direction, I would work with your staff to come back to you with a plan to go into.
That was kind of where I was at with my comments. You know, I always look at that when I'm looking at these things, and I don't want this to be a Matt project. Hey, remember we had a meeting Tuesday night, you've got to have all this equipment ready too. I want to make sure that somebody who's working in this building at this time of the day, provided they have the time to do it, to set it up. And you know, as you know, we all know, the town council chambers, when the meeting's done, they leave and everything stays right in place. But this is a media center for the students, and it would have to be, you know, broken down and you know, is the site capable of handling the video, and
Yeah, we'd work on all that. If that's where you'd like to go, we'll work on all that.
I would encourage that it to be more of a mobile system, because you never know what type of presentations we're going to do. We do have other schools that sometimes make sense to have meetings at Underhill Memorial or College. So I think that if we can maximize that ability, sometimes we toured our old schoolhouses, which we still have. I think to be restrictive, I would be a little lenient, leery of doing that, because again, student presentations, something was set up here at our last meeting, so we met down there. So I would encourage as much.
I
So much
don't
more
know
than that.
enough about it
Yeah.
to advise you intelligently. But again, if that's the direction you're gonna go in, we will learn what we need to learn to advise you what makes the most sense. We need some time to do it if you make that decision. So, a lot going on right now. But even some of our older youngsters, it's a good practical learning experience for them in terms of videotaping. It should never be edited, obviously. It should be, regardless of what happens, that so they're not going to get into editing. But inserting titles, loading it onto the server, cataloging, it's a real good practical life experience for kids too. So I'd like to see if there's any opportunity for us to involve youngsters.
What, is there any, I mean, can we videotape the students for public purpose? I mean, how does that work? Is there a?
We're required to get a parental sign-off. We send them home at the beginning of the year. And some parents, for a variety of legitimate reasons, are uncomfortable with their youngsters being videoed, whether they're named or not. And those videos going out. It's different. So we would have to be certain that if youngsters were going to give a video, if youngsters were going to give a presentation to the board, if a parent was uncomfortable with that youngster ending up in cyberspace,
I want to make sure there's no
That-
legal out, legal out.
that youngster would not be able to participate. It's a little bit different with kids, to tell you the truth. It's different with kids. I remember so vividly a couple of years ago when we had Kelly Ayon come in and do a presentation on internet safety. And I don't know who she brought with her as a consultant, but he said, in 5 minutes, I'm going to find a youngster's name, address, phone number, and be able to drive up to their front door. And I don't mean necessarily a Hooksett kid. And he used an example of what bad guys do on very little information. So, you know, the needs of our kids always outweigh, in my opinion, the needs of us as adults. You know, safety more big. So we have to look into that. That's all part of the whole thing. That's different than the normal business that we conduct.
I'd like to authorize administration to look into that. I move that we direct the administration to look into providing audio and video system to recording our school board meetings. I guess that would be a motion to authorize that.
I'll second.
And then one more thing, just,
Yeah, we're in discussion.
If, for those of you who have any community influence, I think there were a couple of years ago, we explored what options cable TV would provide for us. And that seemed to go nowhere, although it's a different time. And I don't know where we stand as a community on cable contract, but I think the last time we looked at it, I know David was very instrumental in trying to get something done. I wrote you a letter of support that said, let's go and do it. To tell you the truth, I've had a lot of experience with video production and meetings, and it's never cost the taxpayer a nickel. I really think it should be part of your cable contract. They should be providing not only the equipment, but the manpower. And then it also allows you to, channel. It opens up a whole bunch of other things for us to do. But in the meantime, that's not going to happen tomorrow, but in the meantime, if you so vote, we'll start researching.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the motion as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And Dana, one more thing, based on Dr. Woodfield's suggestions, if there needs to be communication with the other boards in town, and where the school board is inclined, I certainly suggest that we send a letter to the town administrator urging that the school would be certainly, again, interested in providing that type of public access again. So maybe that could, so that may be the way to do it, say that we certainly would incline that they look at it into that possibility.
Was that a comment?
Well, I think that may be, Dr. Lupel had a good suggestion, using the forces of all town agencies. So I think sending a letter encouraging this council to do that certainly wouldn't hurt.
So, is that a motion or a comment? That's all I'm asking, I just want to make sure.
It's a comment, but I would probably maybe hold off until we found out from this motion
Okay.
first.
All right.